It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's film review day. And you know, we've had fun celebrating the win for the last couple of days, but now today it's back to business. It's time to look at the tape because we want to see from this Steelers game how much of this was the Steelers playing bad versus the Browns playing good, and what can we learn about what the Steelers had success with that the Browns can make adjustments for to play the much vaunted Kansas City offense. A lot of things to look into, a lot of things to break down. But before I get into that, I got to give a quick shout out to my Dog Check tier Patreon members. And as always, I start out with Michael Matique, Greg Ealer, Seth Harrison, Corporal Nick Lopez, Nick Nasty, Mandela Moore, the only Browns fan in Wisconsin, Batman, Jake Phillips, Rush Shear, Barack Kumar, John Alver, Masayua, Budza Roland, Ethan Rindauer, James Nemo, Mac House, Reeve Hertz, Justin Cole, Philip Wilcoxon, Marie Vivert, Timothy McClure, Keith Anderson, Joshua Still, Sean Barron, Gagos Pizzano, Dom Gazzulo, Ian Whitaker, Colin 216, Anthony Latham, Christian, Matt Bond, Dave Strong, Michael Stone, Soul Train, Charles Work, Dan in West Texas, Billy, Michael Holdenack, Jared Austin, Dylon W, Josh Bendor, Dylan Hell, Andrew Sadejo, David Maldonado, Chad Gimme, Rex Kaufman, Edrin Hall, James McGinley, Brody Cook, Moose Gentry, Patrick F, Austin Z, Mark Burnett II, Andre Griffin, Otis Wolf, IT Rex, Austin Bolin, Jesus Serrano, Joshua Paulus, Chris Fawns, Pick Down Browns Backers, Mark Kahn, Max Al Dojo, Beerman 069, SSJ Swift, Andrew Hirsch, Feeling Dangerous 113, Dave Mike May, John Cummings, Robert Germain, Cleveland BCI, Anthony O, Bobo Regretti, Stuart Moore, TJ Showman on cue, Mark M, Jalil Salim Sr., Martha Crusnut, Joe Bobby, Sean McGinty, Carlos Moreno, Musty Taco, Frankie B and Matt the Aggie, Mud Duck, Brad Cowbo, Keith Gurkak, Ryan T, Jonathan Fredericks, CK, Eric Green, Joseph Stevens, and Water Bear Marketing. Thank you guys for that support. You make things like these, all 22 breakdowns, possible with your support on Patreon. Again, thank you to everybody who does that. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the Batcave. All right, y'all know what it is. Time to get back into this Batcave. We're going to look at this game. We're going to start with the first snap of the game here. A couple of things I think is interesting about this play that I think we should notice here. Well, first, get the play off. And notice the motion, right? I want you guys to remember this motion because it's going to come back and play in another play, right? You see the motion, slide, and this is going to be a run to the left side of the field with James Conner. So here's the play, right? Let's go back to the pre-snap. Keep this in mind, right? Motion, slide, run between here. That's the play that they go with on the first play of this drive. And then we know the snap goes all the way over Ben's head, right? I know they were talking like he was leaning, and that's why he had a bad snap. Nah, man, he's in normal position. Like, hundreds of snaps have gotten off like that. It's just an inexplicably bad snap. Like, this thing just goes straight up to the moon. All right, now that's interesting in itself, right, the bad snap. This is also interesting. How did the Browns get this ball, right? If you're Pittsburgh, you have to ask yourself that. How did the ball get to Cleveland? Well, James Conner telling Ben, hey, man, I got it, because Ben's old. He's not going to dive on the ground and get that ball. He could hurt his shoulder. He had surgery on that elbow. He doesn't want to do that. That makes sense. So James goes down on the ball, but he decides a little bit too late. They spent too much time looking at each other. I think you see right here, right? Ben is looking at James like, are you going to do something about this ball? And then James goes, all right, I'll do it. By the time he slides, it's much too late. And then big old Myles Garrett gets in there, pushes the ball to the end zone, and then the Browns get in there, score a touchdown. Now, that in itself is interesting. Again, you're going to see this ball go straight up on this snap. Watch the motion. Whole line slides left, run to the left. The ball just goes way over Ben's head. There's nothing Ben could have done there. That's just a complete brain fart snap-poo moment. I don't know how that happened. But deja vu. This is the next offensive snap after this. And this is a key part of the problem for Pittsburgh and why the Pittsburgh offense has been so hot and cold all year, and why at the end of the year, especially when teams had their second crack at them, they just weren't as successful. It's because of stuff like this, right? Watch this play. Same motion, same slide. That's the exact same play that they just ran. And of course, it gets stopped because you literally just ran that play with the same tail. Look at that. The same exact motion. Like you could have did like a counter motion or something, like put them back on the right side or just snap straight from the set, to make it disguise it a little bit. But nobody is biting on that. And it gets stopped. Pittsburgh is not creative on offense. They have not been creative all year. Things like that happen regularly. I showed you in the film breakdown last week where the Steelers had an issue where they always run that same mesh play on the 50-yard line on a third down. They have these tendencies that they just don't seem to be interested in breaking, and it's mind-boggling why they continue to not break any of these tendencies. All right, another tendency of the Steelers offense, and this is part Browns being good on defense, but part the Steelers just making bad situations worse with poor decision making, play calling, and everything on down from the offensive side of the ball. This one, Ben's going to get pressure, and he's going to just do a classic panic throw here, right? Play action. Pocket starts to collapse. He bails a little earlier than you would expect Ben to bail. Like you think Ben would just stand in the pocket and find somebody, at least the old big Ben would. He does not want to get hit. He bails quick, gets rid of this ball, and makes one of the worst decisions you can make as a quarterback. And he knows this. You cannot be irresponsible with the ball in the middle of the field. Why? Because there's always somebody to pick up a tip. He was irresponsible with the ball in the middle of the field, threw it high to Benny Snell, and it got one-handed. Look at that boy. One-handed by MJ Stewart. Again, hats off to Cleveland for making the play, right? You got to make the play. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the Browns here, but you also have to acknowledge like some of the stuff on defense was just really bad decision-making, or the Browns taking advantage, getting them in a bad spot, and the Steelers compounding being in a bad spot because there is pressure here with making a worse decision on top of that to get the worst possible result, which is this, right? That's the worst possible result. And this is not the first time this has happened today, and it wasn't the last time, right? All right, so this one is from Baker Mayfield, and I just want to show you guys, sometimes arm strength can just beat good coverage, right? Because if you remember, the pick six that Baker threw against Pittsburgh was on cover one. They hid Minka, and Minka was thief or robber from technically wherever that position is, but he's playing underneath. So the way cover one works is it's man all around. It's man all around, one deep safety, and then somebody is going to be here. Sometimes it's a linebacker. If it's a linebacker, it's called thief. If it's a strong safety or a free safety, it's called robber. There's different terminologies for a lot of different sets, but the basic ideal is one deep safety, man everywhere else, and a robber underneath to stop somebody from getting like a crossing route. Well, this is designed to stop this play, and there's a debate whether Baker Mayfield made the right decision, but sometimes when you're incredibly talented, your talent can get you out of a bad decision, right? And this is what Baker Mayfield did here. Sees it, Minka drops back to beat a robber. The robber, even though that's technically a linebacking spot he's in, but he's robber right here. Drops back to cover that slant. At least he sees Austin Hooper. And then Baker just throws a rocket ball on a rope to Jarvis here, and then Jarvis is gone. He's just gone. When they tell you Baker Mayfield's not talented in a way that can change football games, they're lying to you. This is Baker Mayfield beating good coverage with just incredible arm strength, and then Jarvis Landry being special, right? Because look at that arm strength. He whips that thing right out the range of Minka, right? Minka had a chance to get on it, but he's just slightly out of position. Baker knows that, and he gets rid of it right there without hesitation because Minka's worried about both of those inside routes. Gets it to Jarvis, and Jarvis makes a man miss. and does what Jarvis does, which is score touchdowns. Again, they try to tell you Baker Mayfield's not a playmaker. They are lying to you. It's not true. Baker Mayfield's absolutely a playmaker, absolutely a special talent. All right, we got one here. Larry Ogunjobi appreciation. It's been a while, and boy, this is one of my favorite trench appreciation posts that I've had to do in a while because, oh man, this is just pure domination, right? Larry Ogunjobi. You see Marquise Pouncey. I'm going to highlight the matchup right here. Watch here. Larry Ogunjobi, Marquise Pouncey. This is fun. This is football. Gets right in his chest, blows the whole play up. That's domination. Look at that. As Marquise Pouncey did not have a good day today. Larry Ogunjobi in his chest. Pushed him back a full 2 yards. Look at that bull rush. That's the Larry I want to see every play. Comes off, and then look at Ronnie Harrison does a good job coming off of this tight end to seal this gap. And then, more importantly, great technique here on the tackle to make sure he doesn't get forward progress. Let's see the end zone cam because you just want to see that again, right? That's a beautiful bull rush by Larry Ogunjobi. We're going to need a lot of that against Kansas City, right? Just right as the ball snap, you just see him get pushed right in there. And by the way, Pittsburgh ran this fullback dive before, runs the same exact play, same exact way, same exact side. Again, no creativity for this team. And that's why that's kind of a predictable result, right? Larry Ogunjobi made the read, got the jump, got underneath his pads, and got in his chest. That's called getting in somebody's chest right there. The next one is a run game, right? Browns run game on fire. Why was it on fire? Offensive line was just winning on every level right here. You're going to watch this. Literally, there's nobody to highlight. Just watch the offensive line. Pick an offensive lineman. They win. Every single one of them wins their block here. One-on-one, right? Boom. You get this started. Jedrick winning his block against Highsmith. What's that? J.C. Treader winning his block against Wormley. Look at the push. Look at the seal. Nick Chubb ain't have to do not a single thing there. Look at that. That is perfect execution on a run play. Perfect execution. And you even have Rashard Higgins winning on his block. Everybody won. And when that happens, the running back's job's really easy. Really easy. Just look at that. It's O-line appreciated. There's nobody to highlight because they all played well on this one, right? Cam Hayward can't do nothing. Nobody could do nothing. That's domination right there. That's great offensive line play. All right. This one is special, right? Because one of Pittsburgh's specialties to stop the run, to stop the pass, to get pressure is Mike Hilton on a corner blitz. This did not hurt the Browns all game. Obviously, the Browns did not let a sack happen against the vaulted Blitzburg defense. Part of the reason is because they had good play calls. The other part was just they were better. And this is an example of just being better. This should work by all means, right? Mike Hilton gets the jump, and they just don't protect him, right? You see Conklin's already trying to just get to the second level, just runs past Hilton. They're just going to run away. I don't know if Baker made the check. I don't think he did. It doesn't look like it. Well, let me see. Oh, he might have. Yeah, Baker might have made the check to run it away from that side. But other than that, there's nothing to stop this from happening. And look at Kareem Hunt. Just breaks the tackle. Doesn't matter. Look, he's got Cam Hayward and Mike Hilton, two of their best defenders, at his feet trying to stop him. He just gets through it. Makes a great cut. Gets in Spillane's chest, capital chest, and just mans his way in there. If that isn't an allegory for what the Browns did this entire game to Pittsburgh, I don't know what else is. But that's what happened, right? Pittsburgh doing their same old tricks. Just Browns were more physical, more ready to play. Another problem with the Pittsburgh offense, right? And again, it's kind of been 60-40, I would say. 40% the defense being in the right spot, making plays. 60% Pittsburgh having the same problems they had against Cincinnati, Washington, and all these other teams that they lost to. And one of the key problems were drops. This time, the drops weren't just drops. This drop turned into an interception. Now, it wasn't a great throw by Ben. Goes off the hands of Deontay Johnson right here, up the middle, and right into the basket of Sheldrick Redwine. Again, not a great throw. You miss high over the middle, and we have lived this with Baker Mayfield in 2019. You miss high over the middle, you know where that ball is going, into a defender's hands. All right here, you're going to see a great job blocking here out of the gun. This is something I really like to see. The Browns haven't had much success running out the gun. I would love to see more of that because I think you can get more diverse and different run looks because people are starting to be more afraid of Baker Mayfield. Also, it opens up things for later in the game, right? Because if you do run from the gun more, you're going to get things like this. Like Mike Hilton, I want you to watch the slot, right? Mike Hilton matched up on Jarvis. He's going to instinctively blitz, right? Because he thinks that that's going to go to Kareem Hunt. And they do give it to Kareem Hunt on that play. But that can come in handy. I want you to see how wide open Jarvis is going to be here. But that can come in handy with the design later on. And it's something you can just use to build layers on top of layers on this defense, on this offense. So, again, would love to see this more because you can get things like this with it, right? Imagine a RPO play, which is what the Ravens do, right? Because when teams try to counteract the outside run with something like this, you could just have your guy sit in this spot and he can just run into the end zone because he's not going to be covered. You see that safety. You see the safety right here is giving leverage to the wrong side, so he's not going to be able to do anything if that ball goes quick right there. Right now, the Browns are just going to run it around, and luckily Kareem Hunt gets the edge, and he gets a touchdown there. But you see how just being able to run it out the shotgun with Baker's threat of passing it out the shotgun puts defenses in such a bind that I do think it's something, a wrinkle that I hope to see added to this offense because I think it could be deadly, right? Kareem Hunt just does a great job hop-stepping in there. All right, now let's talk about some of the things that did not go well for this team, right? We have talked about all the good stuff. We've laughed at Pittsburgh and some of the mistakes and just bad football they were playing because they just haven't been a good football team since Thanksgiving. All right, so this play is interesting, right? It's a 1st and 10 play. They're going to get a deep shot here to Deontay Johnson. And I'm not going to lie to you. I still am a little bit confused on what happened here. But I think I know what happened, but I could very easily be wrong here. But I'm going to let the play out, then I'll tell you what I thought happened first and what I think actually happened on this play. All right, so you can see, this is the easy one. Robert Jackson, to many's eyes, gets burnt. Ronnie Harrison isn't there on time. The way this played out, it looks almost like a Tampa 2 or just a regular cover 2 zone. Right? Because you have the 2 curl flat defenders on both edges. You have the linebacker going deep middle, deep third to split the field a little bit for the safeties. But that's not how the Browns played it, right? I think this was a case of miscommunication. Cover 6 is pretty much somebody's going to have a one-on-one, right? Because their zone goes deep. And then another safety gets help so they don't have to cover space. And then you have somebody covering what's called a deep third. And then you have 3 guys underneath. And then you have a corner who's curl flat. So that means you push up, you let go, you watch the flat, and you let this free safety have them. What I think happened was both of these guys on this side of the ball thought they were curl flat. I think the play got flipped and it wasn't communicated properly. So instead of being a cover 6, which is supposed to be, right, it ended up being a cover 2 and they took a hole shot right there. I think that's what happened on this play. And if you see it play out, and forgive me, I'm going to get rid of these markings. If you can see how it plays out, both Robert Jackson and Terrence Mitchell, they're playing curl flat. They let it slide up. The ball is out, so the safety alignment's going to be a little bit out. But you can see Sendejo's taking that deep third. These 3 linebackers are watching the middle. And the question is, which one was supposed to have the one-on-one battle? So I don't know who's at fault here. I'm not going to try to assess blame here. What I will say is that Robert's definitely playing up like he's the curl flat defender, and it would make sense to make him the curl flat, make Ronnie slide over, and help him so he doesn't get beat one-on-one, because that was a problem all game. And then you have Terrence Mitchell, who can handle that matchup with, I think that's James Washington. He can handle that matchup and, go deep down the field if need be. So I think they confused themselves on this cover 6, and it turned into a cover 2. But I don't think that's what they meant to run. Again, I could be wrong there. That could have just been a Tampa 2 or a cover 2 or something like that. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm wrong, but I think that's what happened on the play, and it's interesting to see how they remedied that later in the game. All right, so you saw the Browns get beat kind of in a cover 6 look by not being as aggressive to attack the sidelines here. Later on in the game, they did have a better communication and better solutions for this. You're going to see on this play, Chase Claypool matched up one-on-one with Robert Jackson, and they're going to give him safety help immediately over top to stop this play from happening. I was begging to see this all game. Now, I get the hesitation to do it, and probably there's going to be the same hesitation to do it this week, right? Because you don't want a one-on-one matchup, Juju and MJ Stewart. You don't want a one-on-one matchup, Deontay Johnson and Terrence Mitchell. But sometimes you gotta gamble a little bit to stop getting burnt deep. And this is what the Browns did. Again, Robert Jackson one-on-one with the island. Could not win all day against Chase Claypool. Not really his fault. Shouldn't be the job he's asked to do. But, he gets beat again. But it's kind of by design, right? He's supposed to sit there, do a curl flat, be a curl flat defender. Once he sees the ball out of Ben's hand, he chases ball. And then the safety, Carl Joseph, also chases ball. Makes it a much more difficult catch for Chase Claypool. You can live with that. That's a good result, right? Drops it. That's what you want to see. That's more or less what you want to see. Now, this play right here, if you are a diehard Browns fan, when you saw this play, you had the same exact thought I did, which is, wow, this is when I knew it was done for Ben Roethlisberger, or at least for this season, it wasn't happening for him, because this is a 3rd and 9 play. Steelers on the 40, right? How many times have we seen this play? Steelers on the 40, 3rd and 9. Browns blitz, collapse the pocket, force Ben to run. He throws on a run, deep down the field to the corner of the end zone. What is that normally? Fat guy chasing Ben, touchdown, Antonio Brown from this exact point. But this time, it was different. The ending just wasn't there, right? 1-on-1, throws it up, and look at where this ball lands, man. This thing doesn't reach the end zone. It doesn't reach the receiver. This thing just skips to him. And that was like watching Mike Tyson hit a clean haymaker on somebody and somebody eating it. Like, what? It's not effective anymore? It didn't kill him? That was eye-opening. Once that happened, I was like, oh, I don't think this is the same Ben. Because Ben always makes that play. That's the one he always makes. Could not make it. How many times has he made that play to Antonio Brown? This time he steps up, and he's just not capable. That, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of just the story of the game for the Steelers, right? Father Time's undefeated. And it looks like he claimed another victim. Now, we'll see. Ben's never dead, but it looks like he claimed another victim. But that's the film review for this week. I hope you guys found this insightful. Again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.